So good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out to Children's Garden. It's wonderful to have you here. It's wonderful to be all together and serving a common purpose and celebration. I am Jessica Coleman, Executive Director and founder of Children's Garden. And luckily my speech didn't blow away. First off, I want to just tell you a funny story. So the other day, the Assyrian people are loving this garden, and an older generation Assyrian woman visited the garden with a younger Assyrian woman, who was her neighbor, and she was fabulous. She was probably in her late 80s or 90s, and she was just observing me, and she came over and she slapped me on the arm and said, "You dress like man." And I said, "All right, I love this lady." Okay, so she's looking at me waiting to go harvest whatever I give her the green light for. And so I tell her what she can harvest and everything. And then on her way out, she says, "God bless you, cowboy." It was a fantastic moment in time. And I just thought, could the Assyrian people get any better? Okay, I'm learning all about different cultures out here, and I have to tell you, I'm a big fan. So I kind of dressed up a little bit more today. I actually put on a belt. I hope she would be proud. I haven't worn a belt in years. Okay, so I just thought that was just being across the board every time I think of her. So the mission of Children's Garden is disease prevention in our children. It is bringing together community, giving them a place to garden, and educate them on how our diet can be much better and how our diet is affecting our children in more than just physical health, but mental health. So this is our attempt at moving the needle in the positive direction for our future of our children. I've invited everyone here today to celebrate the spirit of resilience, commitment, and the love that we share for our fellow neighbor. You have all demonstrated individually and collectively how we can come together to do amazing work. And you've shown our children that they matter and that they can have a hope for a brighter future. Let me introduce my family. My husband, Greg, my daughter, Gabrielle, my daughter, Sophia, cousins, Christine and Bob DeMont. You're supposed to be up here. You guys always sneak in the back. And Ophelia Gallo, our beautiful matriarch of the Gallo family. I would like to recognize the Mayor of Modesto, Sue Zwollen, and Supervisor Withrow, and his wife, Kristen. Jeremiah Williams, who's a City Council member. Trish Christensen, the CEO of Modesto Chamber of Commerce. And Michelle Mercado, which I'm pretty sure is behind that camera right there. Oh my goodness, Eric Alvarez, I haven't met you yet. Another City Council member. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. All of these guests are committed to providing a better quality of life for the citizens of Modesto. I'm excited that we have several guests also attending from the University of the Pacific. I do believe, well, I'm just going to read it, even if they're not here, because I don't have time to look around. Chris Callahan is the president, and First Lady Jean Callahan of the University of the Pacific. The founding dean of the Department of Health and Sciences, Nicoletta Bugnario, and her team of professionals, Lana and Jessica, are also here today. And we also have 3 of our Coleman Scholarship recipients who are in the clinical nutrition program and studying to become registered dietitians. University of the Pacific is a valued partner and is making historic strides to provide much needed access to healthcare in the Central Valley. And I don't know if I have permission to say this, but when have I asked for permission? I am going to tell you that they are building a medical school at the University of the Pacific. And all of the regents yesterday voted unanimously to move ahead so that we can have better access to healthcare in the Central Valley, which we desperately need. I think we all realize that. It's a desperate situation, and it has been for a very long time, and don't blame me. Okay. So, almost 1 year ago, the original children's garden that was located on Pellendale Avenue was faced with the daunting task of relocating. I was quite literally devastated, as we had just finished working for 5 years to make it special. Okay, so before anything else, I would like to express my deepest support or gratitude to my husband. Sweetheart, without your unwavering support and love, none of this would be here today. Greg and the Gallo family members and leadership, without hesitation, donated all of this land. So that we could continue to serve the community. Because of your love and support, we can offer free gardening programs to families 2 times per week and provide hands-on experience for children at surrounding schools. And this is just the beginning. As soon as the barley was harvested in this location, which looked exactly like that field behind us almost a year ago, the Gallo Vineyard team, under the direction of Harm Dhaliwal, literally sprung into action. Matt Mendonca and Joe Silvera coordinated efforts and got to work making a canvas of clear, ripped, and tilled soil in which to make a new home for Children's Garden. Joe Silvera, who lives in that house right there, has been a manager for Gallo for over 50 years, and he had recently retired. But I can tell you he's been out here doing whatever he can at a moment's notice to make sure that anything that we needed would be handled. And he also gave me the lowdown on the neighbors, which was ultimately very important. Joe spent time on this incredibly awesome machine that has giant blades on it that, you know, just looks like it's going to cut 7 pizzas at once. And he just went through all these oleanders that go around this property. And he said, people can live in here. I've got to take care of this. We need to make sure it's all taken care of. So he was very instrumental in making this place a welcoming place for us to get busy and do our work. He also was very much involved in every aspect, in spreading compost, to, you know, making roads for us, doing all kinds of things. For a year now, they've been here for us at a moment's notice to help where they could. They gave me advice on best practices because I am not a farmer, but I'm learning right along with the kids. They provided extra materials and basically made the transition to this property possible. There are no words to describe the gratitude that both Greg and I have for all the ways that Gallo Vineyards and the Gallo family has supported us. Now, might I add, it hasn't been easy as I can be an impulsive bulldozer of a gal. At times, not all the time, but if you know me, you know I can be. But these people have called on their friends and their family to support our mission, and I know for certain many of them have lost sleep over my requests. I would like to thank their wives if they are here today for your also support and understanding. Each supporter and partner here today has made a significant investment in our community. Alan, you helped us move everything from the old garden to this location under some very questionable circumstances. Moving that greenhouse on a day like today. The greenhouse was rocking, but we got it here. Sorry, this is just blowing around so much. Alan continues to help us, and he's building a new structure with the volunteers here that one of our longtime supporters, the Borisma family, has been able to give us a generous gift so that we can build this new structure back here. It's a shade structure. It's called Worker Bee Colony. And that's where the kids are going to be doing most of their planting of seeds and transplants and that kind of thing. But we'll be able to have some shade, and it will also help tremendously with everything that we grow here, so that we have a chance of growing our own plants so that we can save that money and teach the kids how to grow from seed to recipe. Chris McCormick, you personally have been so generous to us, and even building us a little owl box. Hangs up over there. I didn't know it came with strings attached, though. He looked at me and he said, "We'll see who gets an owl first." He has one at home. We still don't have an owl yet, but I bet they have an eye on it. He's built us bird houses. He's given us extra materials. He's been there whenever I call. And the team of Grover Landscaping may as well have called this place their second home for the past year. So I appreciate everything you and your sons and Grover Landscape have done for us. Don Bowser and his sons were out here in the hottest part of last summer, trenching and laying lines for power, and right alongside with Grover, laying lines for the water. They have powered us up, they've gotten us online, and recently able to provide cables so I can actually run irrigation from my phone. I'm gonna stop flooding this place. I've decided it's not fun. It causes more harm than good. So whether you've helped level, rip, till, weed, or even teach your children during our children's programs, Miss Kelly, we simply could not have accomplished what we have without you. My nonprofit was born 20 years ago, and here today, we have friends who have supported our work from day one. We appreciate your loyalty and your love. Peggy and Tom, Bob and Christine, Frank and Molly, Terry and Arvin. The list goes on. Who, by the way, just keep surprising me with their generosity and their support. Again, our appreciation cannot be overstated for all of everything you've done for us and your community. So what I've learned in my illustrious career of volunteerism is that my God-given passion is showing people how they can help. I love showing people how to help by including them in the process. When I look at this place, I ask myself, where else can you go and learn side by side with your child, and both of you get something out of it? Both of you are in complete awe of nature. And there's not too many places that you can do that are free, where you can actually go and just really fill your soul and your stomach. The adult and child finding true joy side by side. Many times discovering and learning something for the very first time. Sometimes I'm right there with them, like, oh, I learned this on the drive here, but I'm going to teach you. You've invested in the magic that happens at Children's Garden. So what's next? We are engaging more often with Modesto Junior College, the Ag Department. We're offering hands-on learning opportunities for their students. We've hosted several of their classes out here so that their students can have actual real-life experience in a garden setting. We're working with Stanislaus County Farm Bureau to help grow and benefit from their new foundation, bringing more ag education into the community. We have a bright future together. Mothers who attend our programs have been inspired to take the UC Davis Master Gardeners Training Program. The program requires volunteer training, and of course this garden is happy to help. Kelly is here today. She's a mom of 5, and she frequently educates our children because she's a homeschool mom. So you will find her with a baby strapped to her back and 4 babies wanting her attention, but she's still teaching the kids. And we do it right under that arbor, and then we high five. She passes me off, the kids off to me in the garden, and we learn hands-on gardening. So thank you, Kelly, for all of your commitment. You are awesome. The UC Master Gardeners Program Director in Stanislaus County has agreed to run a training program during our winter season, enabling us to teach more children during the spring, summer, and fall, to have more hands on deck. And we are building a curriculum that will meet state standards for both non-traditional and traditional aged children. Our education consultant, Catherine Del Don, who is here today and also expecting a baby, is leading this effort, and will include this will include working with our clinical nutrition scholarship recipients. So this is going to be part of their capstone program. And so having that nutrition along with the education in our curriculum is going to be really awesome. It's going to be customized to Children's Garden, but it will also be a tool for other gardens, because we don't want to keep this a secret. I would love people to pop these up all over town, in every town. And I'd be happy to help and show them how to do it, much to my husband's dismay. We will continue to fund scholarships and grow the number of registered dietitians in our county to help educate the growing number of families who are in need. In the upcoming school year, our goal is to have every school within walking distance come to the garden at least once a week for at least 2 hours each time for hands-on learning. Now, I'm sorry if I have not thanked everybody appropriately, but I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I know exactly, I could talk for hours about what your contributions have meant to this garden, from the Ratto family to Earl Hall, to just our friends and family, to everybody who has had a part in this special place. I believe that the epidemic of childhood diseases are caused by what kids are eating, paired with a sedentary lifestyle. It's affecting their physical health as well as their mental health. It's disrupting their hormones and making it impossible for them to thrive. I also believe we can turn this epidemic around. Teaching children and families how to grow their own food, getting their hands in the soil, and interacting with others will go a long way in solving this problem. Now, I would like to introduce our mayor of Modesto, Sue Swallen. Sue is a former ER nurse of 40 years. And if anybody can recognize how important this program is, it is Sue. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, thank you very much. I'm humbled. Good morning, and thank you for all being here to celebrate the grand opening of the Children's Garden. Looking around here today, I am reminded of the beauty we each get to experience every single day. Warm sunshine on our faces. I can do this. Warm sunshine on our faces, great weather, and vibrant colors to enjoy. This is a wonderful investment in our community. By remodeling our parks, upgrading our streets, and welcoming initiatives like this Children's Garden, we are making Modesto a better place for all. As was mentioned, I've been a registered nurse for 51 years now, almost 42 years in the emergency room. So I have dedicated my life to improving the quality of life for everyone in our community. Giving our children a dedicated place to learn, play, and garden outdoors will help them blossom in new ways. This very garden will create sustainable changes in the way children understand their environment, plants, food, and their relationship to the greater community. I will share a little bit of a personal story. My grandparents both had their 20-acre dairy farms, one right down the street from here, off of Mays Road, another one on Paradise Road. And I grew up, when you were going to have soup at Grandma Silva's house, she went out just right outside of her little kitchen door and clipped the parsley and pulled the onions out of the ground and threw it in the soup. And then when we had boysenberry pie for dessert, she had picked the boysenberries out of the garden right there. And lemonade, she had pulled them from the tree and squeezed the fresh lemonade. That was how I grew up. And when Grandma Weber off of Mays Road right here wanted to take flowers to the cemetery, St. Stanislaus Cemetery, she just clipped them out of her flower garden. And of course, canned the food in the summer to have it for the winter. So that was how I grew up, watching this happen. And I'm so grateful I married my husband. Has a beautiful garden in our backyard where we have boysenberries and tomatoes, and we live in downtown Modesto, or close to downtown, but we have our garden, and he makes fresh food all of the time. So I'm so grateful for that. But even more than that, I'm going to say something I wasn't planning on saying, but the Gallo family has just been a part of our lives. Every Friday night when we drove in from Grandma Silva's and every Sunday night from Grandma Weber's, we came right down this road. And I knew as a little girl when I saw this home on the corner right behind me that we were getting close to downtown, headed home on Hackberry Avenue. And on the way, I was going to see the cruisers, the teenagers, all cruising on 9th and 10th Street downtown, and I would get so excited. So there is a richness and a relationship here with the Gallo family that, my dad was a mail carrier and my mom was a church secretary at St. Stanislaus Church for 40 years almost. It wasn't about wealth or ownership. We were all friends and neighbors. And we shared recipes and knew each other. And that is what I see here. When I drove in here today, I spent some time driving around Central Catholic and all of the places that mean so much to us. For those of us that have lived in Modesto all of our lives, it's so much more. And I appreciate you, Jessica, so much for doing this, and especially in this location. And I know it was so devastating when you had to leave, but it just could not be in a better place. So investing in our youth is investing in Modesto's future, and this impact will be felt for years to come. I'm so grateful to Jessica and Greg Coleman for turning their idea into reality and for choosing Modesto. I am excited to watch our children and our community flourish. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I have a certificate for you, Jessica, and I would like to invite Vice Mayor Williams and Councilmember Alvarez to present it with me. There we go. All right. So we have a certificate of congratulations presented to Children's Garden. On behalf of the Modesto City Council, I would like to express congratulations on your spring grand opening ceremony and ribbon cutting. Presented on May 16th, 2026, signed by me, Suze Wallen, Mayor of the City of Modesto. Thank you again.
Yeah, all right, we're gonna look over here in this camera. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Good, and then we're gonna do it over here. 1, 2.
Thank you so much, Sue. That really was wonderful to hear those stories. And I really appreciate your support. I would like to introduce Terry Withrow. He is a county supervisor. And where is he? There he is. Get away from the bar, Terry. I'm kidding. Back there slamming cranberry. Here you go, sir.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here today. This is just an amazing place. There are 4 things I wanted to talk about just really quickly here. And it starts off kind of, Jessica went into a little bit about it, but it's the beginning, when she started this and when it all began. And we met a few times as you had this going over there on Pellendale and at the county, and then at my day job down at my county office. And just were so encouraged with what you were doing here, and just inspired. Everybody's inspired by this. And then you lost your lease, basically, right? We got ourselves in a spot here where we didn't have a place anymore. But that just shows you how God works in mysterious ways. And so there's a reason for all these things, and there's a reason that you're here now. And thank God you lost that lease, right? We thank God for that. So that was a great thing to happen. And then the next thing I want to talk about is government. You know, everybody looks to government to solve all the problems anymore. You look in our society today, and everybody thinks government is the answer. And government's not the answer. There's certain things government has to do. Our roads, our protect us, our safety, things like that. But government is not the answer. Sometimes government is the exact opposite of the answer. It's a problem. And so what really makes our community great are things like this, are people like you, Jessica. That's what really makes a difference. All the good things you can look throughout a community, for the most part, you can say came from individuals stepping up to do this type of job. So it's unbelievable what you've accomplished here. The next thing I want to talk about a little bit is the kids. So I'm hoping, I don't know if we've got a gate here going from Franklin Have we got the gate in? Yes, all right, that's perfect. So what a spot for this to be, to put this in. And, you look at Franklin School, we've got Mark Twain, we've got St. Stan's over here, where I and my wife went to St. Stan's with Greg, we all went to school there. And, this is so important for the kids, as you've talked about. And if you think about it, my wife and I mentored over here in Franklin for a while, I think until COVID came, and then we had to stop. And what you learn really quickly is that so many of these kids in these areas, in these disadvantaged communities, the only thing they know is from their house to the school and back to their house. They don't know the world. They're not exposed to so many things. And what this does is just open their eyes. It exposes them to a whole nother world that they never knew about. And it's stuff that they can bring back to their families, bring back to their parents. So it's just amazing that they're going to have this opportunity. Put this in place for them to do that. But it is very sad, and this is a way to change that. This is a way to make that better. And then the last thing I want to talk about was Jessica. So amazing that you've accomplished this. Amazing what you've done. And then just as Sue made reference to, your in-laws, your family, right? I mean, you look at everything good in Stanislaus County, and so many of them have been touched and are a part of the Gallo family, what the Gallos have done for us. And I look at this as you kind of picking up the torch. Jessica, I look at you as kind of being the next one who's going to have to be out there doing what needs to be done. So much of the family over the years, we have some here that have done that. And we need the next generation to step up, because all the stuff that your family has done for this community has made it what it is. So we are so proud of you doing this. We're so proud of all the work you've done and what you've accomplished here. And on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, on behalf of Stanislaus County, all of our residents, thank you for all you're doing. We all love you.
Wait, can we get a photo real quick?
Oh, yeah, Terry. We need a photo.
Okay, right over here. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And then another one over here. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, good.
Wow. We should do this every day. I like hearing that I'm special. I don't think my children tell me enough, quite honestly. I'm kidding, girls. They were part of the first garden, and they pulled their share of puncture vines, and I think I scared them for life. Anyway, thank you so much, Mayor and Supervisor, and I really do appreciate all of the kind words, and I do agree with you 1,000%. We cannot wait for someone else to do it. We have to do it. If we want a better life, it's not just a bag that you buy at Barnes & Noble that says, be the change you want to see in the world. No, you got to do it. And so I am super excited that all of you have come along and been part of this process. And this garden wouldn't be here without each and every one of you. So yes, it is a vision, but it takes every single one of us to make it happen. So this is community. This is awesome. And we are touching a lot of children's lives. One thing that I would like to say real quick is not only are we having families out and exposing them to gardening, we're actually sending them home with their own plants. A lot of times they're plants that have come from Ratto Brothers Produce. And we have extra because they give us a whole tray of 450 plants. I'm like, for the love of goodness, who wants to take home some plants? And the kids love it, and they're so excited. They learn how to grow them here, they take them home, and they plant them in their yard. And so it truly is growing in ways that we can't imagine, and it's changing the way that their relationship with food, and it's changing their relationship with their families. And the parents will even tell you, we wouldn't have tried the food that we are eating right now had we not come out to Children's Garden and like what's a celery root, right? There's just so many things that people don't try because they don't know. One thing I'd like to point out is that is a kitchen over here. I did not open the doors today, but so we're teaching kids from seed to recipe how to take control of their own health. And so it's a wonderful experience. Secondly, I want to say real quick that Collins Electric and Pacific Gas and Electric, PG&E, were part of moving this historic sculpture over here for right before Love Modesto. And it was no small task. I believe that sculpture weighs about 6 tons. And we drove that bad boy down 9th Street. We were praying the whole way too. And when we got it over here and got the crane lifted it into place. The team, it was just the dream team getting this sculpture over here. So I want to say thank you and give them a round of applause. Yes. And then Sam Dominguez, right back here, painted that to come back to its, we scrubbed it with bristle brushes. We power washed it. Brian, great picture of you power washing that. And then some of the PG&E guys fixed the plaster. And then Sam came in and painted it. And he goes, do you want me to put shadows on it? Do you want me to do something fancy? I'm like, no, Sam, just make it the original white. That was really hard for Sam. I saw him struggle. But that leads me into our beautiful murals here. Okay, Sam is incredible. He is a fine artist who decided he would like to do murals. And he came up with this design, and I absolutely love it. It couldn't have been, it's so perfect. So thank you very much, Mr. Dominguez. Okay, and without further ado, I would like to invite everybody for our barbecue, Copper Spur. Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh. Hello, I need to introduce Trish Christensen that's why I wrote a speech. See, I have nothing and my mind goes crazy. I know, I'm not holding it. So this is Trish Christensen with Modesto Chamber of Commerce, and I'm gonna hand off to her right now.
Okay, I don't have a whole lot of words. Thank you so much. Yes, I am the president and CEO of the Greater Modesto Chamber of Commerce, and very touched to be a part of this today. It's more than just the regular, we have no ribbon cutting looks the same, so don't ever let anyone tell you that, but this is super unique and extra special. Jessica's heart is really tied to fighting disease for our young people, and that comes from food, and seed to recipe is a complete circle, which is of great importance. A lot of times we raise our children with snippets of here's dinner and here's dinner with vegetables, but how does it get there and where did it come from? Telling the whole story and exposing them to the reality of what that looks like is very valuable. It also really means a lot to her from a very genuine spot because it's from the heart. I'm not asking permission, but you wrote it. I already knew it, but you wrote it, so I believe it's shareable. For Jessica, she always had a heart to do the work she's doing and build what she's built here, but in the last few years, she experienced her own life-threatening congenital heart condition that required open heart surgery. Her personal journey deepened her commitment to childhood health and inspired continued growth of Modesto's Children's Garden. And on the garden part, I'll share a personal story that ties a lot of this together for me, which is why I've always been just so connected to what you're doing here. My dad came to the U.S. when he was 21 from Germany. He was the youngest of children spread over a 21-year spread of only 6 children, so different times and stages. So for him, it was wartime when he grew up, and they had no choice but to grow what they had available to them to eat. And my mom grew up in Illinois during the Depression, and if they didn't grow it, they didn't have food to eat. So in my growing up, there was always vegetables being planted and grown and flowers being taken care of, and roses being deadheaded. Gardens and eating what you grow has always been a part of me and my fabric, and my house has always had plants and flowers and vegetables going. And really what it does and what you're doing here has come up in so many ways. Our dinner table is family centric, and you're creating an environment for families to come. If they don't have the space themselves, they get to come here and as a family learn a lost tradition for many, and it's bringing it back to life, because the family dinner table can be the anchor of family in so many ways. It's incredibly valuable. I also think all this wind today is a lot of good juju coming this way and taking it right through town. So I think that the wind is also part of today's story. The only other thing I want to touch on is this isn't our first time. When Jessica launched the Children's Garden on the other side of town, it was very cool and unique, and we were honored to do that ribbon cutting, and there was not a lot to show yet for what her vision was. And I do know how devastating it was for her when she got the news she had to relocate. But what a difference, and what a mission you were meant to continue to grow this organization as well. So I'm very honored and proud to be a part of this with you today. You're on the right track now where you are to continue to grow. This is your forever home. You got it. All right, so with that, it is windy, so, and it's not actually funny. We are going to give her a plaque, and she's very creative. She'll figure out where to put it later. And I have a certificate. So I'm just going to simply wrap that by saying thank you for what you're doing for our community and the families raising their children in our community.
I keep telling Trish one day she's going to work here.
Our little secret.